Hi, I'm Adele. Before you listen to my story, please click like and subscribe. As I lived in an orphanage, my biggest dream was to have a family. But that wasn't easy, especially with me being different. Yep, I looked cute and delicate on the outside, but physically, I was a real strong girl. One day when I was 3, the warden called me to her room to meet the couple who wanted to adopt me. I was so happy when my potential dad came forward to shake hands. But suddenly, he yelled out that I was crushing his bones. Oh no, what did I do? I dropped his hand instantly and ran off. Needless to say, they didn't adopt me. Another time, it came so close. The couple was about to sign the papers. Just then, a girl threw a ball at me. I caught it and threw it back at her, but it went flying straight into my future mom's face. Ouch! This way, I kept ruining my own adoption chances for years. When I was 10, I sadly watched 2 of my roommates getting adopted, and one of them said to me, "I know you want a family too. There's one thing you can do for it. Try not being yourself when that day comes. You know what I mean." She was right. If my extreme strength was the only thing stopping me from getting a family, I had to hide it inside. Then one day, another couple arrived, and they seemed just perfect. I crossed my hands behind my back, determined not to mess up this time. To my great surprise, they walked up to me and picked me. Yippee! I'd finally found a family. And surprisingly, they already had a daughter my age. Polly looked delighted to see me and immediately hugged me tight. But the second my parents left, she pushed me away. Ew, get off, you orphan. Don't spoil my Gucci dress. Ugh, you probably don't even know what Gucci is. Who knows what kind of slum you were born in? I stood in shock, but then I saw a bee buzzing near Polly's neck. I pushed her away with force, and she just flew. I tried to hold her and stop her, but I accidentally tore her shirt. Ugh! How dare you, you moron! I'm gonna kick your butt back to your rat hole now. What? No, I didn't want to go back. I told her about my real strength, apologized, and requested her not to say anything to her parents. And she agreed, but on one condition. I had to do whatever she said. I decided to go by that. Soon, I got enrolled in Polly's school, and when the teacher asked who the new student was, I stood up to introduce myself. Hi, I'm Polly's maid, Polly's maid. Excuse me? No, I think you're mistaken. I'm no maid, Then I saw Polly looking at me with wicked eyes. I pursed my lips and sat down. Later, when I was having lunch in the cafeteria, she came with a bunch of girls and asked me to get up. Why? You want to sit here? I don't mind. You guys can all join me. They all laughed. Nonsense. Who'd want to sit with a garbage bag for lunch? I just came to tell you to clean my lunchbox. Come on, hurry up. And she threw her lunchbox at me. Ugh, I had to teach this dumbhead a lesson. That night when she was sleeping, I lifted one side of her bed with my hand and dropped it down so hard. She screamed like some kid in a horror movie. It was hilarious. But she just kept torturing me. The only thing she couldn't ruin was my studies. Yeah, I was so good at it. By the time I was in 11th grade, the teacher announced that I was getting an international university scholarship to study in China. I'm so proud of you, Adele. I really wonder how Polly could be your sister. The class cracked up, and I knew that made Polly grow even madder. On our graduation day, I was waiting off stage, getting ready to make my speech. Just then, Polly popped up and whispered, "Hey, Adele, my friend said the day is boring, so let's make your speech fun. I'll teach you. Just say, 'I'm Adele. I'm in love with the basketball captain. Thanks,' and get lost. Nothing else. Got it?" What? No way. I can't do that. Oh, really? Too bad. I thought you wanted a family. Ugh, fine. And I went up, but I said something that shook her. Hi, I'm Polly's sister, and I'm gonna say something on her behalf now. Polly has a crush on the school head girl, and she said she won't live without her. So guys, let's all join hands in uniting these lovebirds. The whole auditorium echoed with laughter. I was told to immediately leave the stage, but the satisfaction I got out of it was priceless. I went home that evening expecting her to burst out, but to my shock, she had locked herself up in her room and wouldn't open it. I asked my parents, but they had no idea. The next morning at breakfast, all my parents were talking about was my scholarship and how they were going to miss me.
Oh, honey, I'm just so happy we adopted you. We're so proud.
Oh, really? Now you're proud of her? Then why did you throw her away like garbage when she was born? And why didn't you tell me she was my frickin' twin sister? Anyway, send her back. I don't want her. Wait, what? Did she just say I'm her twin? I couldn't believe it. But then she threw a paper on my face. It was my birth certificate, and my adopted parents' names were there, which meant they're my real family? I flipped the dining table up angrily, and they all looked ghost-struck. Why? Why did you give up on me? Do you know how much I suffered all my life? Everyone called me a dumb orphan when I'm really not one. Now I think I was better as an orphan. God, it sucks to be standing here. I'm not putting up with your devil daughter or your lying faces anymore. I'm out of here forever.
Adele, please, listen. It's true, you are our real daughter, but we just... Sweetie, we weren't financially stable then to raise twins, so we had to give one up. But now that we're rich enough for the two of you, we took you back. We're sorry.
But I wasn't having it. How could they even do that to me? And Polly? She'd been the worst twin sister anyone could get. Thankfully, I had my scholarship, and I just flew away to China as fast as I could. There, I stayed in the hostel on the college campus. Adapting to a new place was a bit difficult at first. The food, the people, everything was different. But college started off on a good note. All the scholarship students were called onto the stage on the first day and appreciated by everyone. Soon we had our freshers party, and my roommates took me shopping to get some cool dresses. As I was trying on a dress, a girl with glasses barged in. I immediately covered myself and yelled at her. Jeez, are you out of your mind? Where are your manners? You should... Shush, please. I'm sorry. I'm just hiding from someone. Ugh, my mom. She wants me to wear this ridiculous dress with antique frills and lace for my freshers party. I stood confused, but then her mom suddenly opened the door too. God!
Oh dear, I heard you. You're still my little kitty playing peekaboo. Come on, let's try out this dress now.
Ugh, I got mad at both of them. I quickly put on my dress and kicked the door open. But gosh, it broke open and flew off. I ran out. Later, I got to know the girl with the glasses was Fen, my classmate. I bumped into her at the freshers' party again, and she freaked out seeing me.
Oh God, you? I'm sorry.
Please don't hurt me the way that you kicked down that door. And she literally knelt down with tears. Hey, stop. I don't want anyone knowing about that, all right? Can you keep this a secret? I will. I'll do anything. And I'm sorry for my mom again. She's just... you won't understand, because your mom's probably not that type. Let's not talk about that. And hey, looks like you aren't wearing the frills and lace dress. We laughed, talked, danced, and had so much fun. Then she invited me over to her house for dinner. And honestly, I loved her mom. She was so nice and attentive. One day when we were at the cafeteria, Fen's mom ran inside like crazy, shouting both our names. Fen shrieked and dragged her mom outside. I ran after her, shouting, "Hey, Fen, stop! Don't drive her away or I'm gonna kick you now." They both stopped and stared at me. She's your mom. Not everyone is lucky enough to have one all their life. Please, don't shoo away her love. Her mom burst into tears and hugged me. She'd brought lunch for me too, and promised she'd bring it every day. Days passed. I got letters and phone calls from my real parents sometimes, but I totally ignored them and focused on my studies. One day, as I was going to class, I saw Fen on the ground. She was standing with folded hands in front of two boys who were swinging her glasses in the air. What were they doing to her? I ran fast to them and yelled, "Hey, you! What do you want from my friend?"
Friend? That's so funny. Mom always says that weirdos stick together.
Oh, we do, Mama's boy. Saying that, I took Fen's hand and started walking away. It got on the boys' nerves. They held my bag and pulled me back. I was fuming already. I just slapped him, breaking at least 2 of his teeth.
Fen was so happy. She hugged me tight and took me home that evening, telling her mom about all that had happened. Oh, Adele, how can I thank you? You know, Fen's been bullied a lot. Since her school days, there was never a day she came back home without tears. But now, she comes home every day and talks happily about you.
That's not a big deal, Auntie. All she needs is some support to stand up. You're making me feel like I'm her big sister. That's why I brought you here today, Adele. I told my mom about you, and she wanted to give you something you deserve. A family. Would you mind being a part of us forever?
Oh, are you guys saying this for real? I mean, this is a very big decision. You don't have to do this, because I don't want to be a burden. And after all I've been through, I'm far from trusting people, you know. But Fen and her mom were sure of what they were saying. They asked me to take as much time as I wanted to think about it. I thanked them and left for my room. That night, I couldn't help but think about my real family. I still had my mom's number, and I called her. She was so happy to hear from me that she burst into tears. Just stop crying and listen, please. I didn't call you to say I miss you. In fact, I'm so happy here with some good, honest people. I even found a real mom and a sister who truly love me. They're ready to take me in with them forever. I'm gonna say yes. She just said no and cried out loud. I knew she felt really bad, but what they all did to me was beyond forgiveness. I hung up the phone. After the weekend, I was getting ready for class. Just then, a girl informed me that I had some visitors. I went out to see. It was Dad, Mom, and Polly. What are you guys doing here? Mom ran to me and hugged me tight. Dad had teary eyes too. They both apologized once again.
Please consider taking us back, darling. You're our treasure. I regret giving you up every minute.
What are you looking at, Polly? Why did I drag you here?
I don't know what to say. I've been a horrible sister. No apology can fix that. But Adele, I feel really bad for everything I did to you. Please forgive me and come back.
She cried. I'd never seen her do that. I went close and hugged her. They all tried to convince me, but I didn't make any promises. My life is good here. I'm gonna study more and make my own future. I can forgive you now, but I'm not sure I have the same feelings I had for you before. I'm letting time decide further. I knew I wasn't ready for a family then. I just went back to my college life and friendship.
I am not the one to believe in luck, but kept on thinking about the 2 miracles that happened this morning. First, I woke up before my first alarm, and my mom was like, "Who are you?" I couldn't believe it either. I always sleep late at night because of reading romance novels. Every morning was like a battlefield, and my enemies were my alarm clock and my mom, and I always ended up getting out of bed after the 20th snooze of my alarm. And second was the delivery package that was sitting in front of our door. It was a hard copy of the latest novel of my favorite author. I have been trying to get her attention for the last 5 years by sending her messages through her email, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook, and finally she noticed me. Moments later, my dad pulled over to a grocery store to buy something. So I waited inside the car and put my earphones on. I opened TikTok to see if my imaginary boyfriend Nate has a new video. I can't stop watching them. He's like the dream guy of every girl out there. Those crystal blue eyes, curly blonde hair, and his voice. He has this deep, alluring voice that I could listen to forever. He also dances like a pro and a cute bear at the same time. He is so perfect, and I wish that I could see him in person someday. I had rewatched 50 of his TikTok videos when I realized that my dad was taking so long in the store. What is he doing in there? He only planned to buy gum. I couldn't afford to be late in my first class, and our scary teacher humiliates students who are late. I decided to go out of the car to check on what Dad was doing now. I was about to reach the entrance door when I slipped on something. I fell forward to the door, pushed it hard until it opened and hit someone's hand. I then heard something dropped on the floor, along with my body. Cringing in pain, I noticed a gun resting on the floor, just a few inches from me. I took it and rolled over to my back, only to see a masked robber holding a lady as his hostage. I looked around and whoa, what in the world is happening? Everyone, including my dad, were all gathered up one side with their arms raised. "Give me my gun!" The robber screamed and lunged at me. My heart was pounding so hard in my chest as I dodged him. I then aimed the gun towards him in an awkward way. He raised both of his hands up in surrender. The cashier then took the chance to call the police, and moments later, police sirens started echoing outside. I couldn't believe that I was witnessing the arrest of a criminal in person. Police and FBI agents surrounded me and my dad, asking questions about the incident. Everything happened so fast, and it was so overwhelming. The staff and customers kept thanking me for what I had done, and the police started calling me a hero because that masked robber was also the serial killer who escaped prison 2 weeks ago. Inside the car, my dad kept on telling me that I was the best daughter in the whole world, but everything hadn't sunk in yet. It was a fantastic experience, but the thought of being late in my first class was distracting me. I was running late already, so I wished that there would be no traffic on the next street. Luckily, the road was empty. I was late for 15 minutes when I finally reached our school. While dashing down the hall towards my locker, everyone was looking at me as if there were green flying horses coming out of my nose. I'm a wallflower, a nobody who dreams of being the most beautiful and most popular girl in school, so I found their reactions very unusual. I opened my locker and saw a small note inserted in my notebook. My eyes flew wide open when I realized that it was a love letter. I considered this as another miracle because this was the first time that I had received such a letter. I've never had a guy admire me, ever. I closed my locker after getting some books, and the moment I turned around, I was surprised to see the cutest guys in school lining up in front of me. Hey, Betty, would you like to go to prom with me? I've always liked you. Want to be my girlfriend? What's your Snapchat? Hey, baby girl. Wait, I felt dizzy all of a sudden. Give me a minute to digest this. What are they doing? Hello there. A familiar voice made me open my eyes, and a smiling Noah Buck was the first thing I saw. Noah is my crush at school. He's handsome, smart, and athletic. You were so cool earlier. Want to come to my party later at 7? Oh, so they have already heard the news. Now I understand why everyone's giving me this attention. I stuttered when I saw him. Sure, Noah. I would love to. Great. See ya. He waved goodbye at me as he winked, and then I think my eyes just turned into hearts. I rushed to my first class with blood draining from my face and nervousness. I was imagining the smoke coming out of our teacher's nose and ears. Luckily, she didn't arrive yet. She entered the classroom the moment I settled into my seat. Talk about perfect timing. Good morning, class. Sorry I'm late. I got stuck in a traffic jam. Anyway, I have a surprise quiz for you. Oh no, I wasn't prepared for it. I was sweating with anxiousness as we answered the exam. Another unexpected thing happened after the checking. I got a perfect score. Lunchtime came and my best friend Gwen's favorite meal ran out, so we decided to eat outside. We noticed several students gathered around in front of the school, checking a red fancy sports car out that was parked on campus. Everyone was shocked, especially me, to see the driver who finally came out of the car. I blinked thrice to check if I was hallucinating, but it was indeed Nate. Girls dropped their jaws as they watched him approach me. Hey, it's Betty, right? I felt like fainting when I heard his voice. It was so disarming. He asked me out for a quick lunch and promised to bring me back to school, as he didn't want me to cut class. He told me that he got intrigued with me because of the news, and he wanted to thank me personally. You saved not only the people in that store, but the entire country from a dangerous serial killer. I felt like I was in Cloud 9. He then drove me to a 5-star restaurant for lunch. I kept on pinching myself to check if it was all just a dream, but everything was real. I couldn't eat properly because I was so shy and conscious of Nate's presence. He was holding a camera taking a video of us, as he wanted to feature me on his next vlog. My phone then rang and I excused myself to answer it. This is the raffle that you joined 3 months ago. We're happy to inform you that you won $1 million and a trip to Europe, which is good for 3 persons. Oh my God, is this serious? Yes, just message us your full name and bank account details. I excitedly called my parents to tell them the good news. I had already told Nate about it, and we continued chit-chatting over lunch. Soon, I realized that I had already skipped my next class, which was chemistry. Nate hurriedly drove me back to school and asked me if we could hang out after my classes. I remembered Noah's party at 7, so I suggested that he should join us. My hands and teeth were shaking at the thought of those girls who ruled the school getting jealous of me. You should also do some TikTok videos with me, Nate suggested, and I became ecstatic about it. It was like a dream come true. Wait a minute. My day only started with 2 miracles, and now I'm losing my count. What a lucky day indeed. An idea popped into my head. I'll start testing out my luck festival. I thought about the party later and how I should look beautiful for Nate, Noah, and everyone. But how? I'm a plain Jane. Hey girl, Jessie, a fashionable student who loves doing makeup to others, approached me. I bought these new makeup sets and I would love to try them on you. I was stunned for a moment. A few seconds ago, I just wished to look pretty and there's Jessie to the rescue? She gave me a makeover during our vacant time, making me more than ready for the party tonight. Fast forward to the party, I was having a good time with Nate and the others. Everyone was treating me like I was a beautiful princess. We played a lot of games such as beer pong and card games, and as expected, I kept on winning. All I did was wish for it to come true. Rubbing my hands together in excitement, I decided to work it out more. I tried my luck on billiards, which I never played before. I played against these guys who were experts already. I closed my eyes and took a deep breath before striking the cue ball. Everyone shouted in amusement when I miraculously sunk all the pool balls in one strike. Unbelievable! Noah kept on giving me these drinks and my mind started to become hazy. He and Nate kept on subtly fighting for my attention. It was making me feel that I was the most beautiful girl in the world. They were both making me confused, but deep inside, I knew that I liked Nate more. Later that night, the competition between them became even more obvious. So they decided to play rock, paper, scissors, and whoever won would be my real date tonight. I secretly wished for Nate to win, and he did. Noah walked out with a sad look on his face. It's okay, Noah. You deserve a better date anyway. Someone who's naturally beautiful and not an attention seeker. I turned to the owner of the voice. It was Megan, Noah's ex-girlfriend, who had been giving me the jealous eye since we arrived. She's the principal's daughter who still has feelings for Noah. It was so obvious. I've never been so insulted before in my life. She looked back at me with raised eyebrows and an insulting smile. And I couldn't help but wish that the lighter being played with by that guy standing next to her would just burn her beautiful blonde hair. Seconds later, it really happened. Served her right. Noah immediately came to the rescue. He was able to put the fire out before the fire could burn all the strands of her hair. Megan was furious at the guy who played with his lighter, and it ended up in a fight. Nate and I decided to leave the party that had already turned into a major commotion. He drove me home and got to meet my parents, who actually prepared a small dinner celebration for my heroic act this morning, along with Gwen, and I wasn't expecting it. My parents also invited Nate to eat with us, and he gladly obliged. We all had a good time tonight, especially me. I kept on wondering how I had gotten this lucky since I woke up this morning. I felt like I had superpowers or something. I wished that this could go on tomorrow and the next day and forever. Later that night, our black cat Jackie, who was always distant to me, slept beside me this time. It was so weird, but it made me sleep with a huge smile on my face. The next morning, I woke up way past my alarm, and my mom probably forgot to wake me up. Oh no. I remembered that our strict teacher had informed us yesterday about a long, important exam. If you fail it, you'll automatically fail her class. My dad was still sleeping. He had no work that day, but still, it was part of his routine to drive me to school. I tried waking him by splashing cold water on his face, throwing a tree on him, and flipping his bed over. But he really wouldn't wake up. Instead of wasting my time on this seemingly impossible, I just then walked my way out of our neighborhood to wait for a taxi. Suddenly, it began to rain very hard and I forgot to bring an umbrella. What timing? Where's my luck today? Did it migrate somewhere? A rushing car passed through a pool of dirty water in front of me, and I was hit by the huge splash. I contemplated whether to carry on with the dirty, wet clothes or to go back home and change. But when the taxi came, I decided to proceed. Inside the taxi, I vigorously wished for some miracles to happen again today, like Nate visiting me at school again, or my strict teacher getting absent today. When I entered our school building, everyone was looking at me with disgust. The first class was already dismissed by the time I reached the classroom. Great, I missed the long, important quiz. I checked my phone to see if Nate had left a message for me, but then I realized that he didn't actually ask for my number. Maybe he had forgotten to ask me. Everyone then started treating me like nothing happened yesterday. This is just like any other day. Am I back to being a wallflower? Gwen then came up to me and told me what she had found out. Nate's nanny was actually the hostage in the store yesterday. That's why he was very thankful to me. Well, that makes sense. Later that day, I checked the raffle that I had won yesterday to see further details, but I noticed a text message saying that the number who contacted me was actually a scam. I felt like every bad luck that I suffered today was like a boulder that was piling up on my head. Yesterday, I wasn't able to attend my chemistry class because of my lunch with Nate, making me clueless about our activity today in the laboratory. I mixed the wrong chemicals, leading to a small fire in the room, which led me to an hour of detention. Great, another imaginary boulder fell on me. Gwen then informed me that Nate had already uploaded his latest vlog. I immediately checked it and was disappointed to know that I was only featured for like 10 seconds. And it was footage of me eating pasta awkwardly in front of him. The rest of it was about his model girlfriend and how they were madly in love with each other. Nate even addressed me as a random high school student who saved the day by clumsily stopping a robbery. She just got lucky, he mentioned with an insulting smirk. I checked the comments and people were laughing at me instead of praising me. I needed someone to talk to about my heartbreak, so I called Gwen. Come on, Betty, don't you get it? He just used you for views and more fame because the robbery was the viral topic yesterday. She might be right, but I have to make a wish for the last time. I have to confirm if my luck had indeed worn out. I decided to wait until midnight for Nate to contact me. I waited and waited while listening to every tick of the clock. Midnight finally came, and all I could do was sigh in frustration. I took a pen and, while smiling, I scribbled down in my diary,